Have you ever truly paused to consider that persistent feeling, that invisible weight, that dull ache in your soul? Not the mere physical exhaustion of a day's labor, but the profound weariness that whispers doubt into your ears, subtly pulls you into a state of inertia, and ceaselessly clouds your inner vision. It's a relentless battle, isn't it? A struggle fought not with brute force, but within the very intricate chambers of your own mind. You find yourself perpetually searching for clarity amidst the fog, yearning for a deeper connection to something beyond the tangible, grasping for a spiritual answer that always seems to recede just as you feel it might be within your reach. Why does this pervasive sense of confusion, this unsettling spiritual distance, cling to you with such stubborn tenacity? Why does the peace you crave feel perpetually just out of grasp? Understand this with absolute clarity. What truly awaits you here is far more substantial, far more transformative than a simple analytical explanation of outwitting the devil. This endeavor is not merely academic. It is a profound, indeed, a radical excavation into the very core of what that unsettling voice of confusion, that pervasive sense of detachment, that ceaseless internal disquiet, actually embodies. It is an explicit, urgent invitation, meticulously designed not merely to guide you to intellectually comprehend why you have carried this significant burden for so long, but, with undeniable certainty and practical wisdom, to reveal the precise mechanisms and strategies of how you can, once and for all, decisively silence it. This journey, I assure you, is fundamentally about reclaiming the profound, enduring peace and the unwavering, resonant purpose that is, and always has been, your inherent birthright, your divine inheritance. It is about understanding that the very freedom you seek is not bestowed, but uncovered from within. Napoleon Hill, through his most rigorously guarded, his most intentionally suppressed work, courageously steps beyond the simplistic narratives. He does not speak of some mythical horned fiend as a literal entity, but rather he meticulously dissects a pervasive, insidious pattern of thought, a self-defeating cycle of behavior that subtly, yet relentlessly, ensnares the human spirit. He provides us with an absolutely precise lexicon, a clear terminology to articulate the true nature of our own internal adversary. More than that, and critically, he furnishes the exact intellectual armamentarium, the mental tools and strategies necessary to utterly dismantle its influence, to break its hold over your consciousness and your destiny. Reflect deeply on this truth. Have we ever, in the entire tumultuous course of human history, truly required these instruments of liberation, these blueprints for mental freedom, more urgently than in this present, hyper-connected, yet paradoxically fragmented age? A world where every external force, every fleeting distraction, every echo of societal expectation appears to deliberately collude in distracting us, in divorcing us from our own fundamental, authentic essence, from the very core of our being. It is time to look inward, to confront that which truly holds you back. The moment for profound change is now. You feel a weariness, a profound confusion, don't you? That sensation of being unmoored, adrift, is often mistaken for simple procrastination. But let us be clear, what we are confronting here is far more insidious, far more damaging than merely putting off a task. This is the spiritual drifting syndrome, a subtle yet potent surrender of your true self, an abdication of the very helm of your own existence. It is not merely a delay in action, it is a passive, almost unconscious acceptance of whatever happens to you, rather than a deliberate, empowered act of making things happen for you. When you find yourself asking, "What should I do?" or feeling that paralyzing inability to move forward, understand this. That is not idleness. That is precisely the state of drifting that Napoleon Hill meticulously describes, a silent, pervasive disconnection from your own inner compass, your inherent divine guidance. Consider the profound implications of this state. Every moment spent in this aimless meandering is a moment surrendered to forces external to your conscious will. Your mind, an incredibly powerful instrument, when not actively directed by a definite purpose, becomes a playground for whatever thoughts, fears, or distractions may enter it. This drifting is an open invitation for the very adversary Hill speaks of, not some external entity, but the sum of your own fears, doubts, and negative influences, to take residence and dictate the course of your internal world. It is the insidious erosion of personal agency, a silent consent to let circumstance, rather than conviction, steer your life. How many opportunities have slipped through your fingers, not because of a lack of ability, but due to this unexamined state of spiritual drifting? How many times have you felt a divine whisper, a clear intuition, only to allow the inertia of drifting to drown it out, leaving you more confused and disconnected than before? This spiritual drifting, at its very core, is an omission of choice. It is the silent, often unconscious decision not to decide, not to act, not to assert your will. And make no mistake, this omission is a choice in itself, one with profound and far-reaching consequences. Every void in your life, every space left undefined by definite purpose, becomes an irresistible vacuum. Nature, and indeed your own subconscious mind, abhors a vacuum. Into this empty space, this arena of unasserted will, the devil, that pattern of negative thought and self-limiting belief, joyfully rushes in. It fills the void with doubts, with rationalizations for inaction, with a pervasive sense of inadequacy that convinces you that further drifting is not just acceptable, but perhaps even inevitable. It plants seeds of fear that paralyze initiative, convincing you that any bold step might lead to failure, thus reinforcing the safety, however illusory, of inaction. Reflect on your daily patterns. How often do you simply react to what comes your way, rather than proactively creating what you desire? This reactivity is a hallmark of drifting. It diminishes your sense of control, fosters a feeling of helplessness, and systematically erodes your self-trust. When you consistently allow yourself to drift, you inadvertently train your mind to expect, even to crave, this state of passivity. It becomes a habit, a comfortable rut disguised as an inescapable reality. This is why mere advice to just do it often fails. It does not address the deeper spiritual and psychological mechanisms that fuel the drifting. It is not about a lack of discipline in a single task, but a pervasive lack of definite purpose that infects all areas of your existence. Most critically, your spiritual connection. When your internal world lacks clear direction, your connection to any higher guidance becomes obscured, making the search for divine answers feel like shouting into an empty canyon. This profound state of drifting is a direct impediment to manifesting your highest potential and aligning with your spiritual path. It creates a barrier between your conscious self and the universal intelligence, the divine source, that stands ready to assist you when you declare your definite purpose. It allows your attention to fragment, to scatter across countless trivialities, ensuring that no single intention gains enough momentum to become a reality. Are you willing to continue allowing this insidious enemy, this internal adversary, to steal your precious moments, to dilute your divine potential, to keep you suspended in a perpetual state of spiritual limbo? Or are you ready to confront this drifting, to understand its mechanisms, and to reclaim the powerful, purposeful life that awaits your deliberate command? The true understanding of your weariness, your confusion, your spiritual distance begins here, by recognizing that you have allowed yourself to drift. We have just examined the insidious nature of spiritual drifting, that silent surrender of your inner compass. Now consider a phenomenon even more subtle, yet profoundly binding, the hypnotic rhythm of limitation. This is not about overt obstacles or a direct confrontation, but rather a persistent, almost subliminal beat that governs your inner world. Think of it not as a visible chain, but as an invisible, omnipresent melody playing in the background of your consciousness, a song you may not consciously hear, yet one that dictates the cadence of your thoughts, the timbre of your emotions, and ultimately the boundaries of your actions. Your life, indeed, your very being, pulsates with rhythms. The rhythm of your breath, your heartbeat, the cycles of nature. But what if the predominant rhythm you find yourself compelled to dance to, the silent soundtrack of your daily existence, has been composed by forces designed to diminish you? What if this constant, repetitive strain of thought, instilled by societal expectations, past failures, inherited beliefs, or the pervasive narratives around you, has conditioned you into a cycle of self-limitation without you even realizing it? This is the core of the hypnotic rhythm. It is the internalization of boundaries that are not inherently yours, but are adopted through repeated exposure until they feel like undeniable truths. Hill reveals how this ceaseless, often unexamined music of inadequacy and restriction becomes your default melody, your unconscious operating system. And crucially, he provides the blueprint to challenge it, to compose your own symphony of possibility. This rhythmic conditioning operates on a deep, almost cellular level of your mind, bypassing conscious reasoning. It is the insidious repetition of, "You can't," "It's too hard," "You're not enough," or "That's not for people like us." These are not just isolated thoughts. They become a patterned vibration, a low hum that pervades your perception of reality. This rhythm is responsible for that feeling of being stuck, that sensation of hitting an invisible ceiling time and again, despite your best conscious efforts. It's the reason why, even when you intellectually understand what you need to do, an unseen force seems to pull you back, keeping you within a predetermined, confined emotional and spiritual territory. How often do you find yourself contemplating a bold step, a leap of faith, only for this familiar, limiting rhythm to kick in, whispering rationalizations disguised as caution, compelling you back into the comfort zone of your perceived incapacities? The devil that Hill describes thrives on this hypnotic rhythm. It seeks to establish and reinforce this internal melody of mediocrity and constraint because it ensures your continued inaction, your perpetual state of drifting, and your disconnection from your true potential. It turns your past experiences of failure or discouragement into a predictive loop, convincing you that the future will only echo the past. It transforms fear into a familiar, almost comfortable companion, keeping you from venturing beyond the known, even if the known is restrictive and dissatisfying. This rhythmic conditioning acts as a powerful internal censor, a self-imposed prison warden that constantly checks your aspirations against its deeply ingrained narrative of what is possible or appropriate for you. And when this rhythm is allowed to play unchecked, it stifles creativity, crushes inspiration, and systematically dulls your spiritual intuition, making it incredibly difficult to hear the guiding whispers of divine wisdom. To break free from this hypnotic rhythm requires an act of profound self-awareness. It demands that you become the conscious listener, identifying the specific notes and phrases of this limiting song. What are the repetitive narratives playing in your mind about your worth, your capabilities, your destiny? What are the external influences, the media, the voices around you that reinforce this limiting soundtrack? Recognizing the rhythm is the first crucial step toward composing a new one. It means consciously choosing to interrupt the old melody, to introduce new chords of thought, new harmonies of belief that resonate with your true, unlimited potential. It is about actively cultivating a new internal song, one of purpose, possibility, and unwavering faith. Are you prepared to identify the invisible chains of this hypnotic rhythm that bind you and to actively begin conducting your own symphony of liberation? Having considered the insidious drift and the hypnotic rhythm that silently shapes your inner landscape, we now turn to a particularly cunning adversary, fear, often cleverly disguised as caution. This is not the grand, dramatic terror that freezes you in your tracks, but rather the subtle, pervasive undercurrent of daily anxiety, the nagging worry, the persistent doubt that gnaws at the edges of your faith, and the quiet question of your own worthiness before a higher power. This is the echo of anxiety that resonates within, whispering endlessly that you are not enough, that your prayers go unheard, that divine intervention is reserved for others, not for you. This disguised fear is the exhaustion you feel in your spirit, the weariness that comes not from external struggle alone, but from the relentless unspoken battle against these amorphous anxieties that promise protection but deliver paralysis. Reflect on how often this happens. You stand at the precipice of a decision, poised to take a bold step towards a declared purpose, and a voice arises, ostensibly rational, urging prudence. Be careful, it counsels. Consider the risks. What if it fails? What will others think? What if you are wrong in your spiritual conviction? This voice, draped in the robes of wisdom, is often nothing more than fear in camouflage. It promises to shield you from perceived threats, yet its true effect is to arrest your movement, to keep you safely confined within the boundaries of the familiar, even if the familiar is restrictive, unfulfilling, and distant from your true calling. Hill understood this intimately. He recognized this fear as a primary tool of the devil, that pattern of negative thought and self-limiting belief, precisely because it keeps individuals from daring to use their minds purposefully, from exercising their inherent power to create and to connect. This particular brand of fear operates as a false guardian. It pretends to watch over your well-being, to preserve your peace, but in reality, it erects invisible walls around your potential. It sows seeds of doubt concerning your inherent capabilities, your spiritual discernment, and even the very nature of divine responsiveness. This subtle sabotage manifests as a reluctance to trust your intuition, a hesitation to act on inspiration, and a constant second-guessing of your deepest convictions. When you seek answers from a divine source, this disguised fear can inject a static into the channel, filling your consciousness with noise, with a cacophony of what-ifs and maybe-nots, making it incredibly difficult to perceive the clear, guiding whispers of inner wisdom. It convinces you that silence from above is an answer of denial rather than a test of your unyielding faith and patience. The resulting spiritual distance you feel is often not a genuine separation, but an obscured signal, muffled by the din of your own anxieties. The exhaustion you carry is often the cumulative burden of constantly battling these internal specters. It's the energy drained by perpetually questioning your decisions, by worrying about outcomes that have not yet materialized, by the sheer mental effort of trying to anticipate every possible negative scenario. This constant state of low-grade anxiety, however rationalized as being prepared, prevents you from fully engaging with the present moment, from appreciating the simple blessings, and from receiving the spiritual nourishment that is readily available when your mind is truly open and unburdened. It creates a perpetual tension, a tightness in your spirit, that hinders the flow of creative thought and intuitive insight. How can divine guidance penetrate a mind preoccupied with manufactured perils and self-imposed limitations? Recognizing this fear for what it truly is, an impediment, not a protection, is the vital first step toward dismantling its pervasive power. What if that caution you frequently feel is actually just fear, deftly cloaked, holding you back from your greatest breakthroughs? What if the very act of embracing a perceived risk is precisely what is required to unlock a higher level of spiritual understanding and manifest your most profound desires? Hill taught us that success in any endeavor, whether material or spiritual, demands a certain degree of faith and a willingness to transcend fear. It necessitates a conviction that you are guided, that your path is unfolding, even when the visibility is limited. Are you prepared to look beyond the deceptive veil of caution, to identify the subtle whispers of fear that keep you from your true power, and to consciously choose faith over fabricated safety? Having navigated the treacherous waters of spiritual drifting, having discerned the hypnotic rhythm of ingrained limitation, and having stripped away the deceptive guise of fear, pretending to be caution, we now stand at the precipice of true liberation. The question that echoes now, resonating with a newfound urgency, is, how do we anchor ourselves firmly against these pervasive forces? The answer lies in what I have termed, with utmost conviction, definite purpose. This is far more than a mere goal or an ambition. It transcends the material aspirations that often consume our waking hours. Definite purpose, understood in its profound essence, is a spiritual clarity, an unwavering understanding of why you are here, what unique contribution you are destined to offer to the tapestry of existence, and how your life's unfolding aligns with a higher, divine plan. If spiritual drifting represents the absence of direction, a ship lost at sea without a compass, then definite purpose is the indispensable divine compass that I have always encouraged you to wield with unwavering conviction. It is not merely about what you want to do in the fleeting course of your days, but rather, it is fundamentally about what you were born to be. Pause and reflect on that distinction. One implies choice, the other, destiny realized through conscious alignment. This purpose is not found through passive waiting. It is forged through intense introspection, through persistent questioning of your deepest values, and through an honest assessment of your unique gifts. It is the unwavering inner conviction that you have a specific, non-negotiable mission on this earth, a contribution that only you can make, a path that only you can walk with complete authenticity. When you possess this clarity, the subtle whispers of doubt and confusion, the very tools of the adversary, begin to lose their power over your consciousness. Consider this definite purpose not as a static destination on a map, but as a unique frequency. Every individual, every soul, radiates a particular vibrational signature. When you truly discover and embrace your definite purpose, when you align your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions with this intrinsic calling, you begin to emit this frequency with unparalleled clarity and power. And what happens when you broadcast this clear, resonant frequency? Everything in your life, both seen and unseen, begins to vibrate in harmony with it. The confusion, which has plagued you, begins to dissipate as if swept away by a powerful current. Decisions become clearer, opportunities emerge as if by magic, and the path forward, once shrouded in doubt and uncertainty, illuminates itself with unmistakable brilliance. This alignment creates an undeniable magnetic pull, attracting to you the resources, the people, and the circumstances necessary for the fulfillment of your highest vision. This concept of purpose as a frequency explains why so many individuals, despite relentless effort, still feel a profound lack of fulfillment or continue to encounter persistent obstacles. They are broadcasting a mixed signal, a cacophony of conflicting desires and unexamined fears. The devil thrives on this static, this disharmony, ensuring that your energy is scattered and your true power remains dormant. But when your purpose is truly definite, when your internal frequency is pure and strong, the universe responds in kind. It is as if you are tuning into a precise radio station, and suddenly the background noise vanishes, replaced by a clear, powerful broadcast. This is the spiritual principle at play. Clarity of intention aligns with the universal creative force. The cultivation of definite purpose is an active process. It requires daily reaffirmation, constant calibration, and an unwavering commitment to act in accordance with its dictates, even when the immediate results are not apparent. It demands a courage to discard what does not serve this higher calling, to say no to distractions, and to bravely step into the unknown, guided by this inner knowing. This is how you transcend the patterns of drifting and break free from the hypnotic rhythm of limitation. Your definite purpose becomes the anchor for your soul, holding you steadfast amidst the storms of life, providing an unshakable foundation for your faith, and making the quest for divine answers not a desperate plea, but a confident declaration of your spiritual alignment. Are you ready to tune in to your true frequency, to let your definite purpose resonate so powerfully that all confusion and spiritual distance simply cannot coexist within your sphere of influence? You have now grasped the profound essence of definite purpose, recognizing it as the unique frequency that, once discovered, begins to harmonize every aspect of your existence. But how do you amplify this frequency? How do you ensure its signal is not only clear, but powerful enough to cut through the lingering static of doubt and fear? The answer, my friend, lies in the principle of the master mind, a concept far richer and more profound than mere networking. It is a sacred connection of the spirit, a deliberate and harmonious alliance of two or more minds, united in a spirit of perfect accord, all working diligently towards a definite common purpose. This is not just practical collaboration. It is a spiritual alchemy, a merging of intelligences that creates a force far greater than the sum of its individual parts. Think of it this way. Each individual mind possesses its own inherent power, its own unique frequency, its own vibrational signature. When minds operate in isolation, they are limited by their singular perspective, their unique fears, and their individual capacity. But when these minds are intentionally brought together, not for superficial gain, but for a shared, definite purpose and, crucially, in a spirit of genuine harmony and mutual support, something extraordinary occurs. Their combined power does not merely add up, it multiplies exponentially. This multiplication of mental and spiritual energy creates a synergistic field, an energetic resonance that amplifies intentions, accelerates manifestation, and provides an unparalleled reservoir of insight and strength. This is precisely how a group of individuals, aligned in faith and unwavering purpose, can collectively manifest results that seem miraculous to the uninitiated, for they are tapping into a universal principle of amplified consciousness. Your current relationships, your chosen influences, are the very seeds you are planting for your destiny. I have taught that you must cultivate a garden of minds, consciously selecting those who will nourish your soul, challenge your intellect in constructive ways, and steadfastly nurture your faith, thereby creating a positive, expansive energy field around you. This extends beyond merely physical proximity to people. It encompasses the books you read, the teachings you absorb, the content you consume, and the environments you choose to inhabit. Indeed, anything that actively shapes the landscape of your mind. Are you surrounding yourself with voices that uplift and empower, or with those that echo the limiting rhythm and the disguised fears we previously discussed? Your mental and spiritual environment is not a passive backdrop. It is an active co-creator of your reality. The devil that seeks to bind you through drifting and hypnotic rhythms finds its power significantly diminished when confronted by the collective force of a mastermind. When you are tempted to drift, the clear purpose of your mastermind provides immediate accountability, a powerful anchor that pulls you back to your chosen course. When you encounter a limiting belief, born of that hypnotic rhythm, the combined wisdom and diverse perspectives within your mastermind offer a powerful counter-narrative, challenging the falsehoods and expanding your sense of possibility. And when fear, disguised as caution, attempts to paralyze you, the collective courage and unwavering faith of your allies provide an unshakable fortress of strength and perspective, reminding you of your inherent power and your divine guidance. This alliance transcends mere human support. It forms a spiritual bulwark against the forces of negativity and inertia. This principle extends even into the realm of the spiritual. Your mastermind can encompass not only living individuals, but also the profound influence of spiritual teachers, historical figures whose wisdom resonates deeply with you, and even a conscious collective alignment with the divine itself through shared prayer, meditation, or focused intention. The very act of consciously aligning your mind with others, or with higher spiritual principles, creates a vortex of positive energy that can dissolve obstacles and illuminate pathways that were previously unseen. It is a powerful affirmation of your interconnectedness, a declaration that you are not alone in your pursuit of purpose and spiritual clarity. Therefore, reflect now, with unflinching honesty. Who or what constitutes your current mastermind? Is it amplifying your definite purpose, or is it perhaps inadvertently diminishing your light? Are you actively nurturing a garden of minds that feeds your soul and amplifies your faith, creating an undeniable alliance of purpose and spirit? This is the critical next step in truly outwitting the adversary. You have embraced the power of definite purpose, that resonant frequency of your soul, and you have understood the exponential amplification achieved through the harmonious alliance of the mastermind. Yet, even with clarity of purpose and powerful associations, a crucial element remains. This element, often misunderstood and frequently misapplied, is faith in action, which I have always presented not as a passive hope, but as the very embodiment of manifested prayer. It is an unyielding, burning conviction that transmutes belief into tangible reality through persistent, unwavering effort, even when the visible evidence for your desired outcome remains elusive. This is not simply about believing. It is about knowing with such absolute certainty that your belief propels you into consistent, purposeful action, making your every step a declaration of your spiritual resolve. Consider the common misconception. Many equate faith with a silent plea, a whispered hope, an expectation of intervention without personal involvement. But this passive interpretation misses the profound truth at the heart of genuine manifestation. The faith I speak of, the faith that moves mountains, is a dynamic, active force. It is the unwavering inner certainty that your stated purpose, your definite major aim, is already a reality in the spiritual realm, and your persistent actions are merely bringing it into physical manifestation. It is the conviction that the divine source, the universal intelligence, responds not to tentative wishes, but to absolute, unshakable conviction, expressed not only through thought, but through the very fiber of your being and the deliberate choices you make each day. Your every effort, fueled by this conviction, becomes a form of prayer made visible, a dialogue with the universe through the language of consistent, purposeful endeavor. This dynamic faith is the antidote to the doubt that the adversary perpetually seeks to sow. When the results are slow to appear, when the path seems arduous, or when the very universe appears to challenge your resolve, it is this unyielding conviction that sustains you. It transforms obstacles not into insurmountable barriers, but into essential proving grounds, opportunities to forge your spirit and refine your methods. Without this active faith, your definite purpose, however clear, remains an abstract ideal, and your mastermind, however powerful, lacks the vital current to energize its collective potential. This is why many stumble on the precipice of success, not for lack of talent or opportunity, but for the erosion of this unwavering, action-oriented faith. They confuse a temporary setback with a permanent defeat, allowing the adversary's whispers of doubt to drown out the profound truth that persistence, driven by faith, is the only pathway to certain realization. The connection between this active faith and the divine is not mystical in the sense of being inexplicable. It is a fundamental principle of creation. The universal intelligence, the very fabric of existence, responds to clarity, to energy, to conviction. When you embody faith in action, you are speaking its language. You are declaring with every thought and every deed that you are aligned with your purpose, that you trust the process, and that you are willing to do what is necessary to co-create your reality. This is why I compared this faith not to passive hope, but to a burning certainty that ignites action, the same profound certainty that has historically enabled individuals to achieve what others deemed impossible. It is the spiritual equivalent of an engine running at full power, effortlessly overcoming resistance because its internal force is absolute. Reflect deeply on the difference between merely believing something will happen and acting as if it has already begun to manifest. The latter is faith in action. It means stepping forward even when the next step is not fully illuminated, trusting that the light will appear precisely when and where it is needed. It means maintaining an enthusiastic mental attitude despite external challenges because your internal conviction is unshaken. It means demonstrating an indomitable persistence that refuses to acknowledge defeat, for defeat is merely a temporary detour on the path of one who possesses true, active faith. This is the practical manifestation of your spiritual connection, the demonstration that your prayers are not just words, but living, breathing intentions translated into the currency of your actions. Are you merely hoping, or are you actively manifesting? Is your faith a passive sentiment or a dynamic, transformative power that propels you toward the fulfillment of your greatest purpose? The answer lies not in what you say, but in what you do, consistently and courageously. You have now established your definite purpose, aligned with the power of a master mind, and ignited the flame of faith in action. These are mighty instruments indeed. Yet the journey is not one of a single decisive victory, but of continuous vigilance, a constant engagement with the subtle forces that seek to undermine your hard-won clarity. For the adversary, the devil of doubt and limitation, does not simply retreat and disappear. It adapts, it probes, it seeks any opening, any unguarded moment to reassert its influence. Therefore, the next crucial principle, one that secures all others, is to become your own inner sentinel, the unwavering guardian of your mental domain, constantly standing watch at the gates of your mind. Your mind, my friend, is not merely a passive receptacle for thoughts. It is a fertile field, a dynamic arena, indeed a battlefield where the forces of construction and destruction constantly vie for supremacy. Every thought that enters this space is a seed, and its nature determines the harvest. The devil knows this intimately. Its primary strategy is not brute force, but subtle infiltration. It seeks to plant seeds of doubt, tiny whispers of fear, fleeting suggestions of negativity, which, if left unchecked, will take root, grow, and eventually choke out the vibrant garden of your purpose and faith. You must understand that these thoughts often do not originate from your true, higher self. They are echoes of past conditioning, societal programming, or the insidious suggestions designed to pull you back into that state of drifting, to re-establish the hypnotic rhythm of limitation. How, then, does one effectively stand guard? It begins with an acute, almost hyper-awareness of your internal dialogue, the constant, often unconscious stream of thoughts that courses through your consciousness. This is where the practice of the inner sentinel truly comes alive. When a thought surfaces that contradicts your definite purpose, that injects fear into your faith in action, or that promotes division within your master mind, you must learn to identify it instantly, like a sentry spotting an intruder. Is this thought aligned with my highest vision, with my deepest values, with the spiritual truth of my being? Or does it carry the familiar signature of doubt, limitation, or negativity that seeks to undermine my resolve? This discernment is not a judgment, but a critical act of self-preservation, a mental filtering process that protects the integrity of your inner sanctuary. Once identified, these intrusive thoughts must not be allowed to fester. To simply acknowledge them and then allow them to continue their destructive work is a failure of your sentinel duty. Instead, you must consciously and deliberately redirect them. This redirection is not about suppression, it is about substitution. If a thought of failure arises, immediately counter it with a vivid mental image of your ultimate success, fueled by your unwavering, definite purpose. If a whisper of doubt about your divine connection emerges, reaffirm with absolute conviction the truth of your spiritual alignment and your inherent worthiness. This is an active, moment-by-moment process of mental discipline, akin to tending a precious garden, diligently pulling out weeds as soon as they appear, and instead cultivating the blossoms of positive, purposeful thought. Every successful redirection strengthens your resolve and diminishes the power of the adversary over your mind. This practice of being the inner sentinel is not a burden. It is the ultimate expression of your personal power and your spiritual sovereignty. It is the continuous affirmation that you are the master of your own mind, not a victim of circumstance or involuntary thoughts. It is through this diligent vigilance that you maintain the integrity of your mental attitude, ensuring that the predominant thoughts you entertain are always those of courage, hope, faith, and purposeful action. When your internal environment is meticulously guarded and cultivated, it becomes an impenetrable fortress against the forces of negativity, a beacon for higher inspiration, and a clear channel for divine guidance. The effort required is a small price to pay for the profound peace, the unshakable clarity, and the unstoppable momentum it brings to your life. Are you willing to embrace this sacred duty, to become the unwavering sentinel of your own mind, ensuring that only thoughts aligned with your highest purpose are permitted to take root and flourish within your consciousness? This is not merely a suggestion. It is a fundamental requirement for true and lasting freedom. You have diligently set your definite purpose, aligned with the strength of a mastermind, ignited the powerful flame of faith in action, and now stand as the unwavering inner sentinel of your mind. Yet despite these formidable strengths, life will present you with trials. The path of purposeful living is not a perpetual ascent devoid of challenge. It is rather a journey through varying terrains, some smooth, some rugged. And it is in these rugged stretches, in the face of what appears to be adversity, that the adversary often plays its most cunning hand. For the devil, that collective force of doubt, fear, and limitation, does not cease its efforts simply because you have chosen a higher path. On the contrary, it intensifies its efforts, seeking to use the very circumstances of your life as tools for your defeat. This is where we confront the profound principle of the alchemy of adversity, a transformative process where you learn to find, and indeed, to feel God in the midst of your most profound struggles. How often do you interpret struggle, setback, or pain as a sign of divine displeasure, or as an indication that you are somehow off course, perhaps even being punished? This is a fundamental misinterpretation, a psychological trap set by the very forces that seek to diminish you. The adversary delights in presenting challenges as insurmountable obstacles, as evidence of your inadequacy, as a definitive end to your aspirations. It whispers that these difficulties are proof that your faith is misplaced, that your purpose is flawed, that the universe conspires against you. This incessant, insidious narrative aims to break your spirit, to compel you to abandon your chosen path, and to revert to the comforting, albeit restrictive patterns of drifting and limitation. It attempts to convince you that the presence of adversity means the absence of divine favor. But what if this perception itself is the true deception? What if the very struggles that threaten to undo you are, in reality, the precise mechanisms through which your greatest strength, your deepest faith, and your most profound connection to the divine are forged? I teach you that even the most arduous challenges, the most painful setbacks, and the most intense temptations presented by the adversary are not punishments, but rather they serve as powerful furnaces. And what is forged in these furnaces? Nothing less than the unyielding steel of your faith, the purified gold of your purpose, and the crystalline clarity of your spiritual connection. This is the true alchemy of adversity. The seemingly destructive fires of hardship possess the latent power to transform, to refine, to elevate. When you endure a period of intense struggle and you emerge from it, you are not merely the same person who entered it. You are stronger, wiser, more resilient, and immeasurably more aware of your inner resources and, crucially, of the indwelling divine assistance that carried you through. The very act of facing a challenge with courage, persistence, and an unwavering belief in your definite purpose becomes a profound spiritual practice, a testament to your conviction. The adversary's plan is to leverage adversity to make you feel isolated, abandoned, to believe that you are fighting alone. It wants you to perceive these difficult moments as evidence of a distant, uncaring universe. Yet it is precisely in these moments of perceived weakness that you possess the greatest opportunity for growth, for transformation, and for an undeniable experiential knowing of a power greater than yourself. When all human solutions seem to fail, when your own resources are exhausted, it is then that you are truly primed to reach for and to receive divine intervention. This is not a weakness. It is the ultimate strength. This is the moment when you cease relying solely on your limited human capacity and open yourself completely to the infinite wisdom and power of the universal intelligence. It is in the depths of your struggle that you discover a strength you never knew you possessed, a resilience that only trial can reveal, and a divine companionship that transcends all earthly understanding. This profound truth reveals how the adversary's attempts to bring you down through adversity can, in fact, be subverted and turned into a powerful catalyst for your spiritual ascent. The very challenges meant to crush your spirit become the anvil upon which your will is hammered into unyielding strength. The doubts meant to erode your faith become the shadows that define the brilliant light of your conviction. The periods of isolation meant to make you feel alone become the sacred spaces where you commune most intimately with the divine, where you learn to feel God not as a distant concept, but as an immediate, palpable presence within you and around you. This is the higher perspective, the alchemist's vision, that Napoleon Hill urges you to adopt. Are you prepared to reframe your understanding of hardship? Will you continue to see adversity as a curse, or will you choose to recognize it for what it truly is? A divinely orchestrated opportunity to forge an unbreakable spirit, to purify your purpose, and to experience a closeness to God that only the crucible of struggle can reveal. This transformation of perception is not merely intellectual. It is the essence of spiritual mastery. You have faced the trials of adversity, learning to transmute struggle into strength, and perhaps for the first time, truly feeling the presence of the divine within those crucible moments. This profound realization, however, is not a destination, but a launch pad for the continuous cultivation of your being. To truly harness the power of your definite purpose, to fully leverage the collaborative energy of your mastermind, to embody an unwavering faith in action, and to stand as an impenetrable inner sentinel against negativity, requires one more indispensable all-encompassing force, the indomitable power of an inspired mental attitude. This is far more than mere optimism or wishful thinking. It is a fundamental posture of the mind and spirit, a chosen state of being that acts as a magnetic field, drawing to you the very conditions and opportunities necessary for the realization of your highest aspirations. Think of your mental attitude not as a fleeting mood, but as the very atmosphere of your inner world. Just as a plant thrives in fertile soil and optimal climate, your purpose and potential flourish in an atmosphere saturated with inspiration, expectancy, and an unwavering belief in ultimate success. An inspired mental attitude means that your dominant thoughts are consistently aligned with your highest vision, that your emotional state vibrates at a frequency of gratitude and possibility, and that your internal dialogue, even in the face of apparent setbacks, remains resolutely constructive. It is a state where you not only believe in your goal, but you feel its reality within you, transforming mere hope into a dynamic, compelling force that propels you forward. This unwavering mental posture serves as the constant, vibrant affirmation of your spiritual connection, signaling to the universe your readiness to receive and co-create. The adversary, that collective intelligence of doubt and limitation, understands the supreme power of your mental attitude. Its most cunning strategy is often to subtly poison this atmosphere, to introduce elements of despair, cynicism, or apathy precisely because it knows that a mind devoid of an inspired attitude becomes fertile ground for its seeds of drifting and limitation. When your attitude sours, when enthusiasm wanes, when hope gives way to resignation, you become an unwitting accomplice in your own defeat. This is why the battles fought within your mind, specifically concerning your dominant thoughts and feelings, are paramount. They are not secondary skirmishes. They are the main theater of war. A negative mental attitude closes doors that were once open, obscures pathways that were once clear, and effectively severs your conscious connection to the vast reservoir of universal intelligence and spiritual guidance that awaits your clear and positive direction. Maintaining this inspired mental attitude is a deliberate practice, a daily discipline, especially when the external world presents challenges that seem designed to crush your spirit. It is in those moments of struggle, of perceived failure, or of profound disappointment that your attitude is truly tested. Here, the alchemy of adversity intersects powerfully with your mental posture. Do you allow the hardship to drag you down, to sour your outlook, and to convince you of your limitations? Or do you consciously choose to see it as a refining fire, an opportunity for deeper learning, a testament to your resilience, and a stepping stone toward a greater victory? The indomitable spirit is not born from an absence of struggle, but from the unwavering choice to maintain an inspired mental attitude through the struggle, knowing that every challenge faced with courage makes you stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your ultimate purpose. This powerful attitude acts as a direct conduit for divine wisdom and strength. When your mind is open, positive, and expectant, you become receptive to insights, inspirations, and opportunities that would otherwise pass unnoticed. It is akin to tuning a radio to the clearest possible signal. The clearer your internal frequency, the more profound and precise the guidance you receive from higher sources. This connection is not abstract. It is felt as a surge of energy, a flash of intuition, a sudden clarity amidst confusion, or an inexplicable confidence to act. An inspired mental attitude is, in essence, an active prayer, a continuous declaration of faith that the universe is conspiring in your favor, that all things are working together for your good, and that you are an integral, beloved participant in a grander divine plan. It transforms the often lonely pursuit of purpose into a joyous, collaborative dance with destiny. Therefore, the profound question now before you is this: are you actively cultivating an inspired mental attitude? Are you consciously choosing thoughts and emotions that elevate your spirit? Or are you passively allowing the pervasive negativity of the world to dictate your inner state? Is your inner atmosphere one of vibrant possibility or one of quiet despair? Understand that this attitude is not given. It is cultivated. It is a daily commitment to choose faith over fear, hope over cynicism, and purposeful action over passive resignation. It is the unwavering decision to walk your path with an inner radiance that no external circumstance can dim, knowing that this internal light is your greatest asset, your most potent weapon against the adversary, and your clearest channel to the divine. The freedom you seek is not merely a consequence of external conditions. It is born first and foremost from the indomitable power of an inspired mental attitude.